So it's the beginning of July, it's about halfway through the year, which is so crazy to think about, and I figured now would be the perfect time to show you guys some of my favorite pickups for the first half of the year. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm counting down my top 10 favorite sneaker pickups for the first half of 2021. So I've got all the shoes that I'm going to talk about in today's video laid out on the floor, and I've got to be honest, it was actually kind of hard to pick between the sneakers that I wanted to put in the top 10. That's not because I bought a lot of sneakers. In fact, I think I bought less sneakers in the first half of the year than I've ever bought in really any first half of any year. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because I'm on a Dave Ramsey kick right now and I'm just trying to save my money and pay off my house and all that sort of good stuff. I don't know what it is, but man, I gotta say, out of the sneakers that I did pick up, it was so hard to narrow the list down because there are so many sneakers that I just absolutely love. But I feel like I've cut it down to a pretty solid 10 that include like friends and family pairs that mean a lot to me, pairs that I've designed, pairs that I bought that I really love because I wear them all the time, and just great pairs in general. And actually, if you'd like to grab any of the sneakers that I mentioned in today's video, or maybe check out some of the best sneakers on sale, I've left links to all of those things in the description below. So I'm like a soda fiend. It's like something that I'm really trying to cut back on, but it's difficult. Even though I'm exercising, even though I've got a full gallon jug of water right here, I'm still cracking open a fresh Dr. Pepper. Shout out to Dr. Pepper. If you guys want to sponsor the channel, that'd be sick. But I guess without further ado, let's dive right into the list. At number 10, we've got the Hedley and Bennett Vans Skate Highs. So I've always been a pretty big Vans head. I've always loved Vans. I used to love skating. I never really was good at it, but it was something that I loved to watch, loved to be a part of the culture of. I know it's kind of like a culture vulture thing to say, but it's true. But Vans were always just one of those sneaker companies that I loved. I loved their simple aesthetic. I loved their super clean designs that went with everything. And I worked at Vans for a couple years as a retail sales associate back in high school. Man, that's one of the things that really kickstarted my sneaker addiction because they gave me 50% off everything, and I was right next to a DTLR. So not only would I buy tons of sneakers from Vans at 50% off, I'd also go over to DTLR every other day and grab a pair of sneakers over there. It was a problem, it was an addiction, and unfortunately, like soda, I haven't kicked it yet. But like my sneaker addiction, some other things have stayed consistent, like the quality and overall good looks of a new fresh pair of Vans. So this pair was just sent to me by Hedley and Bennett for their Vans collaboration, so huge shout out to them for that. But I've got to say, it doesn't get much cleaner than a white classic canvas pair of Vans with a nice leather Vans stripe on the side. You've also got really nice hits of red that really pop on this white upper, like the tag on the tongue, these eyelets, as well as the stripe that runs along the side, and of course the Hedley and Bennett logo on the heel. But what really gets me about this pair is the multicolor outsole. The right shoe has tonal reds, the left shoe has tonal blues. I think it's an incredible looking sneaker. I love the little pop of color you get on the bottom. The fact that you don't really see it when you look at it from the side, but when you're walking behind someone who's wearing this pair of sneakers, you can see it. It's such a cool touch. And not only that, I'm also realizing that this shoe also features an ultra cush midsole, or drop-in midsole it seems like, which is super soft foam. It feels incredible underfoot. Really excited to rock this pair of sneakers. I did just get it in like yesterday, so I haven't had a chance to rock these yet, but super stoked on these, and the only pair of Vans on my list because I think it's the only pair of Vans that I've picked up so far this year. So there's that. Moving on to the next pair of sneakers. Coming in at number 9 is the Nike Zoom X Invincible Run. So this shoe is actually a surprise favorite of mine. I did not expect to like this shoe because honestly, I think this shoe is kind of ugly, especially in this colorway. I don't know why I grabbed this colorway out of all the colorways that I could have grabbed, but I don't know. I just don't love the way this sneaker looks. But the thing that won me over about this pair of sneakers is how comfortable this Zoom X midsole is when you pair it with this Flyknit upper. This is probably the most comfortable pair of sneakers in my collection, and I actually did a top 10 most comfortable sneakers list of 2021. If you guys want to check that video out, there will be a link at the top of the screen, but not to spoil it for you guys, this shoe is number 1. This shoe is insanely comfortable. I was actually wearing this shoe for like an hour or 2 hours one morning when I was going shopping. This is obviously my day-to-day wear sneaker, and I switched into a pair of Ultra Boost 21s, and it literally felt like I was walking on concrete. I mean, that shoe is an insanely comfortable shoe as well, but when compared to this sneaker, it just doesn't compare. It really doesn't. I just don't understand how they made this shoe as comfortable as it is, and it sucks because I really think this shoe is just butt, at least in my opinion. I know there's people out there who love the way this sneaker looks. This is just not something I'd wear like if I was trying to impress anybody, but hey, that's just me. Something else I do kind of like about this sneaker is that they have a recycled outsole, or what seems like a recycled outsole, as well as some other recycled accents around the lace eyelets. That part of the sneaker I do love. I do love the cool sort of like speckled effect, but other than that, visually, I could let this one go. But I can't let it go because this sneaker is so comfy, and I think this shoe for me is like the benchmark of comfort moving forward. So shout out to Nike for creating such a ridiculously comfortable shoe. Next up at number 8 is the Reebok Answer 4 Step Over. So I never had an original pair of Reebok Answer 4s, or really any pairs of Reebok Answer 4s, at least in the OG colorways. So when I found out that this shoe was retroing in 2021, I knew I had to have it, not only because it's a shoe of one of my favorite players ever, but because this colorway looks insane. And also, you know, it's a step over colorway. It's like the best Reebok Answer 4 colorway ever. If you don't know the history of this shoe, this is a shoe that Allen Iverson stepped over Tyronn Lue in the playoffs in. This is a shoe that made Tyronn Lue look like a, well, you know, real bad. And he was almost the coach of the Sixers last year. Thank God we got Doc Rivers. That would have been something that they would have never let him forget. But yeah, this is just an incredible shoe. It's such an iconic piece of Sixers history and Iverson history. And Iverson being one of my favorite players of all time, I had to grab it. Now, to be fair, the design of the Answer 4 is a little bit dated. I mean, it's obviously a 2000 sneaker. Now, the good news is 2000 style is coming back into fashion, so this is something that'll probably look pretty fashionable in the next couple years. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because this shoe is so iconic and so many people know what this sneaker is. You could rock this with anything and people wouldn't be mad at you. Unless they're a Lakers fan, in which case, yeah, they might be mad at you. At number 7 is the Bodega New Balance 990 V3. So as you guys know, I am a huge New Balance fan, and recently I've become a huge Bodega fan as well. In fact, this wasn't even on purpose. I'm wearing a Bodega sweatshirt. They just sent that to me recently. But dude, I have so much love for Bodega. They're such an awesome company. I love everything that they do. And even though they're Boston fans, because they're from Boston, even though there's a little bit of beef in the sports department, they are probably my favorite sneaker store out. I just think that everything they do, all the collaborations that they do are absolutely insane. And this shoe is just another great example of really amazing collaborations from Bodega and also New Balance. So this shoe released for the 15th anniversary of Bodega, and I've got to say they created a timeless sneaker. And that was sort of the inspiration behind the shoe, creating something that's timeless and can fit within any sort of fashion trend. And not only that, they also picked like the best 990 V3 model ever. The 990 V3 is an incredible looking sneaker, and while yes, I am excited for the 990 V6, the 990 V3 just like can't be beaten in the looks department. So the colorway that they used on this shoe is very subtle and very toned down. It's comprised of like brown suedes and olive leathers and like slightly brown meshes, and then you've got some hits of like reflective material around the New Balance logo and on the toe. And then you've got this really nice bright hit of like teal right around the ankle area, which is such a nice hit. And then of course this nice little pop of orange right there on the eyelets and on the Bodega logo on the back. It's a very subtle, it's a very simple, it's a very clean look, and one that you can wear with literally anything. Now, something else that I really like about this sneaker is that this shoe is actually made domestically. It's one of the US made New Balances. The US made New Balances are always incredible quality. They always look really great, and this is just no exception. This shoe comes with amazing materials. The build quality is excellent. I don't see any flaws on this shoe. And it's just a great sneaker. And if you want to grab a pair of these, I would definitely recommend grabbing them now before the prices skyrocket, because they definitely will. Pretty much any New Balance sneaker right now, the prices are just shooting up like crazy. I actually tried to buy this on release day, but there were some payment processing issues on the website, so I wasn't able to grab it. And then craziest thing ever, Bodega actually happened to send this to me later that day. So I got this pair like in the mail 2 hours after the release that I was bummed about. So huge shout out to Bodega for that. Literally made my week with that. Awesome pair of sneakers. Pick it up if you can. It's worth it. Coming in at number 6 are the Dornbecker Air Jordan 5 promo samples. So this is a pair of sneakers that I really like, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I have been trying to get rid of, but I finally decided, you know what? No, I'm gonna keep it because it's a great sneaker, and I don't know what I was thinking trying to get rid of this shoe. So first off, I've done a bunch of videos on the Dornbecker 5s. I actually did an unboxing of this shoe, which I'll link at the top of the screen, and I also did a review of this shoe like 2 or 3 years ago if you guys want to check that video out. So I'm not going to say too much about this sneaker because you guys probably already know everything there is to know about this shoe. I just want to explain why I decided to end up keeping this sneaker and why I wanted to get rid of it in the first place. So honestly, I like this shoe a lot. I think it's an incredibly designed sneaker. I think it pays homage to an incredible person, and I think it came out really, really well. The reason I was trying to get rid of it is because, like I mentioned before, I'm really listening to Dave Ramsey right now. I'm trying to pay down everything, pay down the loans, pay down the house, all that sort of good stuff. And this is one of those shoes that I just couldn't see myself wearing that often. And I was like, if I'm not gonna wear it, why am I keeping it? I could sell it and then take that money and put down on the house or put down on the car or whatever it is that we're trying to pay off. And that was my original thought. But the more that I looked at this shoe and the more that I tried it on and wore it around the house, I realized I can't get rid of it. I really, really love this sneaker. This is one of those shoes that no is not right for every occasion. This is not something you can rock all the time. The patent leather also makes the shoe not the most comfortable sneaker in the world, but it's just like one of those iconic Air Jordan sneakers. It's the only Dornbecker sneaker I have in my collection, and it's one of my favorite Air Jordan 5s ever made. So the fact that I was actually thinking about getting rid of this shoe in the first place is stupid. Should never have done that. I'm just gonna wear the sneaker a lot. I'm gonna throw it on all the time. I'm gonna switch the laces to black laces because I'm not a huge fan of these white laces. And it's a promo sample, so that's also really cool. I actually have some other promo samples that Jordan sent me directly. That's basically what they call the sneakers that they send to influencers or news outlets or whoever they're trying to send promo pairs to. So this is a pair that probably was sent to someone who worked for like Nice Kicks or Kicks on Fire, or maybe even had a YouTube channel back when this shoe first released. I don't know. I just bought this pair off eBay. But it's an awesome pair of sneakers and one that I plan to hold on to for a very long time. Coming in at number 5, we've got the ALD New Balance 550s. So if you guys know me, you know that I love retro basketball sneakers, especially shoes that came out like around the 80s and early 90s. There's just something about the use of like classic materials like leathers and suedes and the simplicity of design. And the New Balance 550 is one of those sneakers. This is one of New Balance's basketball sneakers from back in the day. And seriously, I'm so stoked that they brought this sneaker back because this shoe is one of my favorite sneakers out right now. I love this sneaker. So the pair that I have is the Aim Leon Dore or ALD New Balance 550 collaboration, and it comes in this really nice sort of aged midsole look with some nice white leathers and like an aged New Balance logo on the side. I think it's a really clean look, but honestly, I like all of the 550s, all the colorways that they've dropped, in particular the more green ones. There's actually this green and white one which I bought for Apothecary for photo shoots, and it's a pair that I kind of wish I bought for myself because it's such a fire sneaker, but I definitely dig the ALD version of the shoe. I love the aged look. I think that's a nice touch. I also love ALD. I think that all their collaborations with New Balance have been pretty solid. In fact, I would say like 80% of the New Balance collaborations that have come out in the last like 3 years have been straight fire. Like, it's really hard for someone to miss on a New Balance collaboration. Now, to be fair, even the ones that missed weren't bad. They just weren't as hot as some of the other collabs have been. Like, this one is fire, and I'm not gonna lie, there may be another New Balance collaboration coming up in the video, but just hold on. You've got the ALD logo on the tongue with an apple that's sort of a basketball. You've got New Balance's logo. You've got this really cool cracked, is that cracked leather or suede? Maybe that's just suede. You've got this suede sort of creamy New Balance logo on the side. You've got this nice quality feeling leather. It's not soft, but real leather isn't always soft. It's an awesome looking pair of sneakers, and the reason I like this shoe so much, besides I love the silhouette, I just love the colorway of this shoe. I just think this yellow and green together is so clean, and this is a pair of shoes that I plan on rocking a lot. I haven't rocked it a lot yet because I've been trying to rock all my other pairs of sneakers. I'm actually trying to wear every pair of sneakers in my collection on a regular basis, just because what's the point of having sneakers if you're not gonna wear them? Other than like the crazy stuff, like the signed off-white pairs and the Zen Yeezy ones, which if I had got back when they first released, I would have worn them, but I spent too much on them. I can't wear them now. But actually, you know what? Even though it's not the same exact shade of yellow, it could work. Yo, maybe I'll throw these on right now. Ooh, that's a thought. These 550s are sick. If you have not rocked a pair of 550s yet, I definitely recommend it. And number 4 is the Nike Mars Yard Overshoe. So if you missed my customization video on this shoe, you might be saying to yourself, that looks nothing like the Mars Yard Overshoe. So this shoe originally started as like an all-white plastic boot thing, and if you cut off the plastic boot, which is actually surprisingly difficult, especially to do cleanly, it took me like 2.5 hours. I have actually done a full video of me doing that. If you guys want to check it out, there will be a link at the top of the screen. But if you cut off the top of this shoe, you reveal just a straight up Mars Yard underneath. A Mars Yard, I'm assuming 1.0 maybe? 2.0. And one thing I did a little bit differently than some of the other people who have customized this shoe is I left on the straps and left on the toe guard or the mud guard on this sneaker because I felt like it gave this shoe a much more utilitarian feel to it. Now there is actually one other thing that I do need to do. I do need to stitch this into the heel so it becomes a pull tab there. I haven't done that yet, obviously. I just kind of wear it with this tucked in the back of the shoe. But I've got to say, I love this sneaker. I love how much effort I put into this shoe. That makes me like this sneaker even more. And while I really love the standard Mars Yards, I'd rather have this because this is one that I really put the time into. And you can grab this shoe, the Overshoe, and make your own for like $600, which is actually tens of thousands less than a standard Mars Yard because Mars Yards now go for like 10 grand, 11 grand. It's ridiculous, but it's the same shoe, just with the blue bottom and this white crap on top of it. But if you cut it off, it's the same sneaker. Awesome pair of shoes. It is very heavy though for some reason. Coming in at number 3 is a Salehi Bembury New Balance 2002R. So this shoe, in my opinion, is one of the best New Balance collaborations of all time. I honestly think this shoe is up there with the Joe Freshgoods New Balance 992s. I think this is up there with some of the original Bodega New Balance collaborations. And I just think it's one of those shoes that, like, it's just so out there and so interesting looking, but it comes in such great quality, and it's on a silhouette that's just incredibly comfortable on foot. It's like a perfect amalgamation of like all the things you want from a sneaker. I'm not usually a fan of wearing yellows and oranges, and I know that sounds completely ridiculous because I'm wearing only yellows and oranges right now, but these are really the only like yellow and orange things that I have. But I've got to say, man, this shoe knocks it out of the park. This shoe is such a great looking sneaker. It utilizes these colors that you wouldn't usually think go together, like yellows and maroons and blues, mashes them all together and makes this incredibly cohesive look, and incorporates all these really great and premium feeling materials that just make this one of the most interesting looking sneakers I've ever seen. Like, even if you're not a sneakerhead, this is a shoe that I think you can appreciate even if you think it's ugly, because it's just a really great piece of craftsmanship. I love it. If I had to pick like a favorite part of this sneaker, I would say this portion right here, because you get a little snippet of all the different materials on the shoe. You get a little bit of that yellow mesh, you get some of that really nice orange suede, you get some of this fluffy blue New Balance logo and some maroon embroideries. I don't know, every part of this shoe is like a masterpiece. I'm into it. I really, really love this shoe. And I grabbed this shoe back in January before the price of this shoe skyrocketed. I think I grabbed it for like $350, so it wasn't too cheap, but it's cheaper than it is now. And speaking of that, I did actually buy the new colorway, the Water Be the Guide colorway. It hasn't come in yet, otherwise it'd be on this list. It comes in like almost the exact opposite of this, like blues and teals. Awesome looking sneakers, so stoked to rock that shoe. I'm gonna be honest, I'm just excited to have both. I think they're both really great sneakers. Next up at number 2 is the Friends and Family Bodega Adidas Forum. So this shoe is one of my favorite sneakers in my entire collection. First off, it's an 80s basketball sneaker, so there's that. You guys know how much I love those. The second reason is the colorway. I think what Bodega did on this colorway is incredible. You've got a pretty standard looking Forum on this side with a nice gold Bodega hit, but when you move to the medial side of this shoe, you've got this really cool like snake skin on the Adidas 3 stripes, and then some hits of greens and reds on the inside of the shoe. But what really makes this shoe special to me is that this pair is a Friends and Family pair that did not release to the public, and they decided to send it to me. Like, huge shout out to Bodega for that. They sent me pair 230 out of 333 pairs. It's insane that they would send this to me. Like, I was truly blown away that they did that. I really, really appreciate it. Like I said, I've been a big Bodega fan for a while at this point. They just keep blessing me. It's ridiculous. I can't thank them enough for all the love that they've shown me. But man, this shoe is amazing. And honestly, it does kind of suck that this shoe never released, because I would have liked to have doubled up on this shoe, because I'd like to have a pair that I could honestly sit on and then a pair that I could wear. This pair I have worn once or twice because I wouldn't feel right just keeping this in a shelf somewhere so that no one could see it. This is a shoe that I want to show off, so I've worn it a couple times, but I'm definitely going to try and keep it in good condition so that it'll last, because it's honestly more of a I guess it's kind of a sentimental piece. Awesome pair of sneakers, and I really do feel blessed that they sent this my way. So thank you guys so much for that. This shoe is fire. And then finally, at number 1 is the We Are Underdogs Seth Fowler Granite. Come on, guys. You didn't think I wasn't going to put this shoe on the list, did you? It's my shoe. I made this shoe. Of course I'm going to put it on the list. So this shoe is the second shoe that I designed in collaboration with We Are Underdogs. It's the second shoe that I designed from scratch for them, and honestly, my favorite shoe that I've ever designed. I'm just really, really into this sneaker. I know I'm biased, but I feel like it came out really nice. So this shoe is obviously pretty heavily inspired by retro running sneakers, but the colorway in particular is inspired by Porto in Portugal, which is where I actually first went when I went to go first talk to We Are Underdogs back when I designed the Origin in 2020, or I guess the end of 2019. And I just was so in love with that city, and I felt like the first colorway of this shoe, because the shoe was made in Portugal, needs to be a representation of what I experienced over there. So that was the inspiration behind this colorway. I had a lot of help from the guys over at We Are Underdogs to sort of color match all the little details on the shoe, because I wanted it to be as true to the city as it could be. They really did an amazing job of bringing my vision to life. Can't thank We Are Underdogs enough for just giving me the opportunity to do this once again. I'm blown away. And man, I love it. Actually, if you guys would like to see a deep dive into more of the design details of this shoe and sort of what went into designing it, I've made sure to leave a link to that video at the top of the screen. Not only that, you can actually pre-order this sneaker right now. I know this sounds like a promo video. It's not. This video was not intended to be a promo video, but just wanted to let you guys know that you can pre-order it if you want. The links will be in the description below. Unfortunately, as of right now, this is the only sample that I have of this shoe, so I can't rock it every day like I'd like to. I guess I could. I don't know. But until I get another sample, I don't want to throw it on feet too much because I want to keep it in pretty fresh condition. Huge thank you to you guys for supporting the channel. If it wasn't for you guys, this never would have happened. I would have never had not only this shoe, but just any signature shoes at all. So I'm just blown away by the support you guys have shown. So thank you guys so much for that. This shoe is sick. And yeah, but with that, we wrap up my top 10 favorite sneaker pickups for the first half of 2021. I'd love to know your thoughts on these pickups and which one of these shoes you like the best, so make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget, if you want to grab any of these sneakers for yourself, I've made sure to leave links to do that in the description below as well. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.